So I start out with mobile, and what I'm working on is the active projects page, and what that is just a view at all the projects that we're working on in oneleif. So let me just zoom out. Oh, you can see if I select stuff, yeah. So this first one, I was exploring like, oh, if there's like a top image at the top of the page, but then I realized, okay, we don't really like, I found that almost unnecessary and kind of just like escaped from that. And so instead, I started designing, keeping everything basically the same, but instead just putting some like copy, fake copy at the top, and then just going into the projects after. And so that's kind of what all of these actually do. That's a lie. That's kind of what all of these, oopsies, three right here are showing. And then also what these are showing is, so this is Zach's project. I just copy and pasted, like I literally took a screenshot, so that's why it might not be the highest quality image. But for the One Leaf website, this would just be a leaf that is full opacity. And this is something needed to be worked on. So if a project doesn't have a project image, it's just lower. Currently, I just have a lower opacity leaf representing it. But what I think would be more effective would be some sort of imagery saying like no image found or image coming soon or something like that. So I'm thinking one of the tasks that a designer could do would be making that sort of imagery, which all of these are squares, so it'd have to be square shape and kind of match the overall like feeling of our site. But that's definitely something that somebody could work on for sure. Um, I'll just kind of go through these. These are basically the same, just getting rid of that top copy, but as we discussed in a chat that in the channel, in the One Leaf website channel, we do want that copy at the top. So it ended up looking more like these over here. And then upon scrolling, this is something I talked about in feedback, what it would look like. So this title saying active projects could pop up at the top, and then like as they're scrolling, that's where that would go. So they know where they're at, as opposed to just it being white and being like, wait, where am I? I know that's a little silly right now because we only have like what 4 projects, but if we get more projects, that might be more needed.
Question for you, Susie.
Mhm.
How do you show animations? Like how do you show how you want that animated to pop up into the top?
Um, that is a part of Figma I haven't explored yet, if I'm being completely honest. So for other designers that know things about this kind of thing, I used to design a lot in Sketch and InVision, and so I would
Hmm.
make everything interactive with InVision. Um, and then in my current job, I've been using Axure, and then I've explored XD a little bit, but with Figma, I'm super new to anything interactive. Um, so again, that might be someone else's like task further down the line is they could make stuff interactive, or that's something I could also learn too. Because there definitely is a way to do it. I just haven't quite done it yet in Figma. Being completely honest.
So my only concern with the animation of getting it into the toolbar is if
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if we do it there, we're gonna do it everywhere, and I mean I'm okay with that if that's what we want to agree on, and that's definitely that's for a conversation down the road too.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone have any thoughts on that from like a UX perspective or just in general, like that title popping up by the leaf in mobile upon scrolling?
I like it.
I
Yeah.
think it's useful because, if I start scrolling through active projects and they happen to look similar to posts, it'll help me kind of remember what I'm looking at if we keep a similar design between the pages.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's
I
go
have a
ahead and let's
question.
keep that. Go ahead.
So, so you see where you have active projects. So, say for example, there are 4. What would be the next like heading, or is active projects a page and then you've got another page that would follow like the same function, or would it be active project as a page, then you would scroll up and then you would have another section underneath that, and then once you've passed into like that new area, that would then jump into the top. If that makes sense.
Yes. Good question.
Are you asking
Uh,
when the active projects moves up? Sorry.
Yeah, so for example, if you have, let's say for example, you've got like 4 headings, active projects, I don't know, contact us and something else, and it's all on the same page, would each one jump into that top section as you scroll up?
Hmm.
Or
Are you saying
would
it'd
it
be like
be that each is a
scroll?
separate page? Yeah, in some ways, kind of, yeah. Or was it that active projects is one page and then you've got another page that would do the exact same thing, but it wouldn't be active projects, it would be like contact, for example, and then
yeah.
whatever
That's
list thing you've
currently it's
got,
the
it would.
latter.
Yeah.
It would be
Yeah. So
interesting to change link on scroll like that, but then we would
Okay.
start at the bottom of the page.
that'd be
Ooh.
interesting, but I feel like you'd kind of get into like this crazy animated page. Like as you're scrolling, the top like flashes like Swift UI, multi-thread site, blah, blah, blah. It's like, whoa, what is this? Like,
And
what
then
am
you,
I on?
it'd be weird to see like
um,
you'd see both pages at once, like connected
mhm.
if you're like between them. Oh,
Okay. That
And
makes
this
sense.
website's pretty static, so I'm thinking like,
Mhm.
I'm only gonna be on active projects, and then I go in the hamburger, or I go back to the leaf icon, I go back to the homepage, something, and I navigate to a different site, and then if I scroll on that one, if I scroll on contact, for example, like contact will
Mhm.
pop up there. There's not really a use case where it's like gonna be switching.
Okay.
Yeah. This I didn't really get that far into. But this bottom one is what happens when you click on a project. I was kind of exploring like breadcrumb situation, and they get very like loaded. So if anyone has like thoughts on like how do we approach breadcrumbs? Do we do it? Do we just make the text smaller? Or because this is like after you clicked on one, and there'd be more information down here on like uh, team members working on this project, etc. But like title and breadcrumb situation is just like I don't even know how to.
I could see if we were like breadcrumbs growing deep, we could have a limit on characters and just show ellipses. Like active projects could have ellipses at like active dot dot dot, and then because I mean you know where you came from, and then you could just click back up and go back to active projects. I'm assuming the OL would we be clicking that and it would take us back to home?
Yeah,
Okay.
and part of me is like, do we even need all the breadcrumbs on mobile? Like, I
I
don't.
mean, you probably don't need the OL because you can just click on the logo in the top left, right?
I
Like
think
what?
the
That's
OL
a good point
is
too.
more for aesthetic.
What was that, Will?
I think it's more just like looks good than functionality right now.
I can see that.
Yeah, I feel like the OL isn't super needed. Like if that needed to be cut, it could be. Which would give us a little bit more screen real estate on this piece right here. Anyone else have thoughts on that at all? Just
How far down do you like anticipate the breadcrumb will go?
that is a good question.
I can't think of
Because yeah,
something
I
where it go
agree.
deeper.
Yeah, I think you can drop OL and then maybe. Yeah, I would definitely say yeah, drop OL since you can just click on the icon to go back home, and then maybe yeah, after a certain amount of characters it shrinks, or maybe just get rid of it altogether. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you want it to work.
I like that too, with the idea of shrinking the text, and I
Yeah.
agree with a lot of you guys that the OL just isn't needed and it's taking up space that could be used elsewhere.
I feel like if we kept all functionality at the parent, like at the project parent level, it wouldn't breadcrumb too much further down. The main worry would be the length of the name with the project.
Yep.
I agree.
Because like you're never gonna go
Okay.
more than 2 deep. Like it's gonna be active projects, the project, or post, and then the post name.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna move on to desktop because I don't want to like eat up a ton of time doing all this. So this isn't that fleshed out clearly. So this is exploring the idea of having a top image, which again I'm not super like I'm like we don't have to, but if wanted we could. So that's what this first one is. Looks a lot like mobile. There's just a couple differences, like the navigation. You can see all the links at the top,
Okay.
which those names might not be 100% right. And then at the top you also see like the login and the search, which again, not all that might be functional on V1. And then some sort of copy after that image if we do an image, and then sticking to the similar to mobile, every project has its own little square, which users can click on and find out more about. And this guy, very similar. The only difference here is that there's no image at the top.
I like the image because I like the
Mhm.
spacing, but I don't know what we would put there.
Yeah, see,
So
that's what I found tough too.
when if I'm looking back through the documentation that I have for what is the active project supposed to contain, the top image is supposed to be a gallery of the featured active projects,
Oh
like a
yeah.
slideshow.
So would we have
Uh,
the carousel there then?
Yeah. So if I have two sets of input here. I agree with Will that the spacing looks better. Like just having the text just like pushed up to the top looks weird.
yeah.
But we're only going to have 3 or 4 projects, so like why do we have a featured carousel if you can see all of them on the page? I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe for V1 and when we don't have a ton of projects, maybe it just like doesn't display or something. I don't.
I just think it'll feel weird with the text pushed up to the top. I guess.
Yeah, because I'm imagining like, okay, what if we literally just have like a row of 4, and then like there's a carousel at the top. Like I feel like that's just weird. And this would be responsive, so it doesn't always have to be 4. That's just.
Guess it's on us to grow the active projects.
Well,
Susie, you could also just play with the spacing on the one
Hello,
without
sorry, my iPad decided to disconnect.
Susie, you could also just play with the spacing on the one without the image.
Yeah. So currently I'm just displaying like the image of the project, the title of the project, and then a little blurb about it. Does everyone think that's like enough information just from this page before they even click on a project?
yeah.
Two other things that you could do. You could put the tags like below the text, like in little boxes. So it'd be like for the OneLeaf React website.
Oh, for search.
Well, not only for search, but just to, like if the description doesn't tell you like what frameworks it's written in, like you could just see like
Oh, okay.
like a little high level overview to give you a better idea without having to go into the project.
It would be cool to have like underneath that little blurb a bunch.
Okay, I cut out for like a good 2 minutes. So what just happened?
We were saying you could put the tags for the active project right under its description.
Yeah, like the tags of like the language that it involves.
Okay, so currently it has title, image, short little blurb. So it could have title, image, short little blurb, and tags.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we could even have tags on it that could just say like UX, because some projects won't have a UI, but ones that do will need UX work.
Although, is that V1 work or is that like more V2, like tags?
That's probably V2. You're right.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
too.
Like I think that would be good too, and like maybe seeing a little bit more. But I'm just like trying to be like.
I mean, if it's static right now with our 4 projects, it wouldn't be hard to implement in V1.
That's a good
Would it be
point.
useful though?
Yes.
Maybe once we implement like searching and filtering and all that jazz, maybe then we display tagging upon just going to the page. But I don't know.
I would say, if possible, it's worth putting in now, because I guess
Okay.
then, in terms of spacing, you can work it out sooner rather than later.
That's a good point.
And also, I mean, it's just information.
Mhm.
So like that's good to have.
Mhm.
It
That's a
still
good
adds
point.
value about the like what to know about the project without even filtering or sorting.
Mhm. As far as on desktop and on mobile top image, did we just decide that no carousel image for now, unless if we get a ton of projects, or
Like there being an image,
yeah,
even if it's not a carousel. I would say keep it, but I guess we just need to work out what could go there in the meantime. If
yeah.
there aren't going to be a lot of projects up currently, because yeah, I think in terms of the spacing, it works really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because even if if there's 3 projects, I'm like, okay, what do we? So we'll just have to like figure something out to go there.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know. Priscilla, I like static image as well. Okay, cool. So that's what I have for this week. For me personally, next week, what I'm gonna try to work on is when you click on a project, what happens, and then adding tags under a project and um, all that stuff that we kind of just talked about, just like cleaning up all these things. Um, all right, so that's Figma.
Do we have the link to Fardines?
I should.
I guess we could just check where
Does
he's at.
everyone have that one? That one should be the one that says copy.
Oh,
And
okay.
he should have been working on the landing. Oh wow, he does have some stuff on it.
Do we have the set color? Is this the set color theme we're going to be going with it?
On mine, the whites and greens and black.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
I'm just like, I mean, I'm not complaining. I just
Yeah. This
would
would
like
be like light theme. Eventually we'll have a dark theme too.
Oh man,
that's right.
Fardines login, the dark mode looks amazing.
I haven't. Okay, where is it under landing or sign up and
Login not complete is the name of it.
Do you guys have the link to this or?
Yeah, here I'll
where is
send it. It's the one that's pinned from Zach.
I can't see that.
Here you go. I sent it.
I thought that was Susie's login.
Oh yes, I remember this one.
The links are like just barely different. Oh, Susie's login. I don't know if that's Susie's or Fardian's, but that dark mode login looks freaking amazing.
1 sec. I'm loading it. Okay. Oh yeah, here's all my old gross stuff.
Yeah, this is the original.
This is what I consider rough draft. um okay, so this isn't his stuff.
Oh, okay.
This is all Susie's old stuff. His stuff would be okay, so I don't need to sorry. Mood board is empty, master is this old stuff that is my old stuff. Landing is his. That's kind of cool.
Oh, there we go.
That's really neat.
Oh,
I like that.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it looks so cool.
Yeah, it is. And it
Very
matches kind
clean.
of what I have going on, so it wouldn't have like anything desktop that I've designed wouldn't really have to change that much.
I'm not sure what this blue box is, but
Yeah. Oh, look at he has a
I think
photo
probably
of
like a full
Susie.
scale. I think probably like a full scale image. I would guess. Maybe.
Yeah. And maybe like a quote there or something. I don't know what he intends to be there.
Yeah.
Login is not touched. Oh, design system. That's filled out. Okay. And archive is empty. Okay. I don't feel the most confident on presenting his stuff because I don't really know where he's going with this.
me either. But this just
But
helps
so
us get a feel of where he's at, though.
yeah. Nice work, Fardine. Yeah, ours have very similar vibes. A couple differences in like nav. And he actually has a footer. Footer elements are not my jam.
He has a what?
He actually has a footer and
Oh,
stuff.
footer. Yeah,
And then I was like, making footers is not my thing.
I like his footer.
Yeah, it's clean. God, why does that be that kind of thing? Okay. So I guess we could go into figuring out what all like the new people are gonna work on. Because I know Fardine is tackling. I'm pulling up my old notes real quick before I say something wrong. He's working on landing. I'm working on active projects for now. Because we found those to be like the most important things to have. What else do we determine to be very high priority? Because that's what will give all like the new people basically.
Give me just a sec. I'll pull up the GitHub.
Yeah. I would say just like design system stuff is super important, and like little like kind of oddball things like I need a image for that's if a project doesn't have an image, what that should look like.
So for those that weren't here last week, sorry to interrupt, Suze.
Go ahead.
I just posted the link to the MVP page. What we did last week was we ordered the MVP page in order, like we put the pages in priority. So it looks like Fardine is handling landing page. Contact us page. Nobody's working on that, right, Suze?
No. So somebody could tackle that.
I started writing up some copy for it. I need to put it in a wiki.
Okay, so I'm just writing down like tasks that we need to have done because I write things. Also, I feel like my iPad's gonna time out again. It's gonna be annoying. Okay. So contact page, we need that. We also need an image for a project without an image.
And then meet the team page.
Was that super like high priority?
It goes landing page, contact us, active projects, which are all handled, and then the page wants you click on an active project and then meet the team. And now that we have a core team, we have like a meet the team page that we can start.
Anything design system related. But I think that Fardine was kind of tackling a lot of that.
I guess we'll have to check in to figure out
I know
what needs to be done there.
Like I'm an understanding person, but I'm also like, we had things to work on in this meeting. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Fardine does have his design system up in the Figma though.
I know, but like, it'd just be helpful if he was here. So, okay, so I'm gonna keep him on landing page, obviously. I don't know if that's obvious, but it's obvious to me. He was kind of working through the fonts and stuff, so I'm gonna try to just keep his stuff pretty like the same just for now. Keep him on fonts, keep him on landing page. Yeah, and then for me personally, keeping me on active project, and then after active project detail page. When you click on active project, what happens? So we can split up contact page for someone, meet the team page, and then kind of just like, I guess the last one is more like visual design type stuff where it's like creating an image for a project without an image and like assisting with design system type tasks. Which that would be working more with Fardine because he's obviously been starting that more. But yeah, so that's the kind of work we have to split up. Does anyone have like a preference between any of those tasks?
Priscilla said she could work on contact.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
I don't have a preference.
No preference. Does anyone like enjoy like designing like an image to like have that displays when there's not an image? So kind of like that designing in like Illustrator and like making something like that, like some sort of icon type thing. Is anyone super into that by chance? Everyone's like, no, I want to do layout.
I can have a look at that.
I'm not a graphic designer.
I can have a look at that.
Okay.
The way Susie just kept asking and nobody was responding.
I was like, please. I mean, I could do that. I mean, I literally made the logo. Like, that's in my skill set.
Everyone to do all the fancy stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I could put Priscilla on contact. Who do I have with me? I have Priscilla. I have Raya. I have. Okay. Okay. If I put Priscilla on contact, I could put Raya on like meet the team,
Okay,
and
cool.
then you both have like a page to work on. Um, and maybe like this week we come with ideas kind of sketched out, like throughout the week if you have ideas for an image for the
hmm
project without an image, even if it's just like a rough like pen and paper drawing, like just as you're going through your week, we can kind of discuss like what to put there next week. But you can always share in the chat or in the channel, be like, hey, thought of this today. What do you think? Anyone can kind of tackle that one just because it's more visual and we don't really have a visual designer per se. So
With
I'm cool with
the images,
Mhm.
I can see they're 300 by 300. Would all of them not have a background, or is it just that it just happens that the logo doesn't have one? Actually, I think there's another one. Oh no, that one has a background. Ignore me. Doesn't matter
Yeah,
because it's a
it
square.
just happens that the logo doesn't have one, but that's a good point. I could put like a light gray or something back there. I don't have
And
a
I was
strong
just,
feeling on
I
that.
was just, I was just thinking about the like the no image, image, um, whether or not
Oh,
to
I
like
get it what
build
you
that
mean
with a
now.
background or not. Yeah, I guess
hmm
I'll just go with no background in the meantime. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, any designers or even devs if you have an idea for it, can kind of just put it in the channel or just discuss it next week. That's fine with me. Trying to think of any more wrapping up stuff. All the MVP, so everything you need to start working on your pages is in the MVP. So like contact us is there, and what was the other one? Meet the team is there. Sabian split up by versions, yeah,
For each of those pages?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So meet the
What else
team.
was?
Do you want me to just talk about how they differ between the versions?
Yeah, just so yeah. Go ahead.
So meet the team for version 1 will just be the core team. So all of us
hmm
basically. And there'll just be like an image. I guess we don't have login yet, so we'll have to just put somebody's bio or like the my name is Sabian. I'm a dot 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 dot. Like with the ellipses.
And I feel like Meet the Team is gonna copy the look and feel of active projects in a way that it's a bunch of cards.
Yep.
Um, so I mean that's helpful. That you already kind of have something to in your mind about it.
Um,
I don't think the search bar will be V1, because V1 is very static. Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
And then so in the wiki it should tell you what should be on the page. But what I would
Yeah.
like to see would be the title picture would be a map with a bunch of pins of everybody's locations.
But that's V2,
Uh,
right?
Yeah,
Um,
that might be more V2.
we could hard code it for V1 and just put in the core team's locations
Oh.
because that
And
would
the
be pretty
toolbar is
easy.
only going to have about active projects. Are we going to have partners? I know we won't have posts.
Yeah, we won't have posts.
And we
Since we
won't
I
have
think
the icons in the top right.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we'll just have contact us active and meet the team.
And about us. About.
Oh yeah, or contact us about us. Are they different? I don't.
sorry,
Talk.
the footer, like the titles in the footer might be old. So, um, yeah, I think about is supposed to be contact us. I can change that. I'm gonna make a note about that actually.
About us is kind of we kind of combined that with the homepage.
Yeah, but it's not called about. It's called contact us. I'm just trying to get consistent. So I need to change that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And I'm thinking for next week, as far as like how much design work do you expect to have done for the next meeting? I would say just like kind of what I have is like mostly high fidelity, but obviously there's some things that aren't quite done yet, and make some progress is always the goal, right? Like if you have a really busy week and it's like, all right, I have like one thing to show, at least you can show something. Um, so try to have something to show for next week. Is kind of the goal here. Contact us. Should we go through that before we
Yeah.
kind of wrap things up?
So I was putting some thought into that this week because we hadn't really put any into it.
Mhm.
We have how so the current two things we have are how we interact with potential partners and our email. I think we could probably break that out into a partners page. Because thanks to Zach, we have Bread for the Journey as a partner. If we didn't
Mhm.
have anything, there was no reason to make that page, but now we do have a reason to make that page. So I will update the docs accordingly if we want to go ahead and move forward with that. I mean, it's not necessary for V1, I guess. So that's kind of up to what everybody wants to do, I guess.
Okay, so currently our thoughts are, or previously our thoughts were, have a contact us page that has like, is that for the partners or is that for the members? Like, is an organization gonna use the contact page or is that for people to sign up
You see, that's a good question because
information?
the homepage is going to have the social media links, and that includes the Discord for people to join, right?
Mhm.
So contact us could be for people that like don't want to just hop in the Discord because they're confused about what we do, so they could just email us, I guess,
Mhm.
or it could be used for partners or organizations. I was kind of thinking it would have our email, a phone number because we need that for Google Ads, and then a representation of all of the social media that we have as well.
Okay. So it's pretty generic then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I feel like how we interact with potential partners is kind of uh confusing wording.
Yeah.
So maybe in that blurb on the MVP, things needed are like literally what you just said. So email, links, right? Stuff like
Social
that.
media links. Yeah.
Mhm. Do we need any sort of imagery there?
Priscilla
I mean,
brings
it'd
up
be
a good point
nice,
here.
but
As far as imagery goes, I don't have any off the top of my head that would be useful.
oh, contact form versus showing an email only.
I don't
Oh,
really have a preference, but if we do a
uh,
contact form, we'd have to like have like an email server set up, right?
that's a dumb question.
Yeah.
Um, I
Email
don't
at
know.
first
I
because it's
feel like
easier.
I mean, might as well if you could mock up both, that's fine. But for now, like, um, just the email is okay. As we're going, if you like end up mocking up more version 2 stuff, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I like how I'm talking. I feel like I'm talking to a wall because I'm like agreeing with like what someone's typing.
She couldn't get her mic to work.
Yeah, it's fine.
Um,
It's just really funny.
I had another
Okay.
idea for contact us. I should have written it down.
Oh, did you update the page?
Yeah, I
Or
did. You can
refresh?
refresh.
Okay. I just want to make sure everyone's like good and hunky dory. Okay, yeah. Um, does, I think that's like all I had to get through. Um, anyone have anything they need to bring up or questions or stuff like that?
I have a question about the meet the team page.
Yes.
So in my head, like currently what I've kind of just like sketched up is a map which has pins on it.
Mhm.
And I'm assuming when you would click on that, what would happen, if anything would happen?
That's a
But
great
it
question.
wouldn't be a functional map, would it? I thought it would mainly just be to show that we're
Oh, that's
in the world,
basically like how global.
because it's gonna be anonymous to a point where like you
Okay,
couldn't know which dot
where your
is
house is.
to what person,
Okay, and
but
then on. Mhm.
it would just be like our thought process was users create an account if they want to put in the optional location data, like what city they're in,
They could just put in
and
the
we,
zip code so
Okay,
it's not accurate.
huh?
So we could just make them do like zip code or something so it's not terribly accurate,
Yeah, we don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable.
But it wouldn't like have their name connected to the pin.
No.
No, nothing.
Okay, good. I was
Okay,
like,
so-
It's gonna be like a map.
So it's like purely like visual. It's not
Yeah.
not gonna have like a deep. Okay, cool, that's fine. And then underneath that, we've got more or less like team cards. So profile picture, a description. Well, I guess profile picture, title, description, and then maybe social links underneath, or not.
Social links, I would think
Be on their profile itself.
would be on the profile itself. I would think it'd be the same as active projects with their name. It could be a profile picture, picture themselves, whatever they want to up, whatever we want for that.
and then
Okay.
just a little blurb about them. or-
Themselves, then tags too.
Oh yeah, tags would be awesome. You can see that they're like a mobile
yeah.
developer, designer, that type of thing.
Okay.
This
Mhm.
might be tag kind of week because we both need to do tags.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And search bar is V2. Don't.
I don't really think you need a little blurb though, because it's not. You don't really need your elevator speech there. I would think you could just like put a title.
Yeah, the tags would make up for that.
Software engineer.
Oh
UX
yeah, that's a good point.
So
It
it
could be
would go
like-
profile picture, title, tags.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to think. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Tags replaces bio, obviously. That's a good way of looking at it.
And as
And
far
like,
as sorry, go ahead.
so like for like I would say like director or something in there. Would we have that information? Is that like title? Is that what's meant by that?
Sorry.
By like what is meant by title? Is that like
So I guess if they have like hold a position in oneleif, it would have that there. If
Got it.
not, like for me, I'd put software engineer or front end developer.
okay,
So usually you would be like co-founder, comma UX designer, something like that.
gotcha. I was just making sure. Okay.
This
As
might
far
be
as
a silly question, but are we gonna have any like checks if we're allowing like random people to enter stuff in? They don't enter any.
for the tags,
Just like any like dirty shit. I don't know.
I think tags should be I don't think you should be able to make them up. I think it should be set that you
Yeah.
have like a pot and these are the tags that you can pick from. Kind of like how it is on the oneleif Discord.
And
Yeah.
then we can take suggestions for tags, I guess, and add them ourselves.
yep, I would. So right
Yeah.
now, Zach and I's thought was that it should just be a string, so that way people can do whatever, and then add new ones. But yeah, if we just are able to take requests somehow for new tags, that might be better to prevent having software engineer with a capital S and a lowercase s.
I've lost. Oh yeah, everyone's back. Okay.
Okay.
My last point is on the tags. If they have like more than 3 or something like that, it could do the like a dot dot dot, and you could click on it to open it up and see all their tags in like a separate window, maybe, or like a little
It
pop up.
could, or it could do the little scrolly thing or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking on.
That's like that's up to me and Ryan to kind of explore.
Yep, I just wanted to have
and
that
present for
be
next
something to
week.
think about.
All right.
How many tags are you
are you
expecting people to use?
I don't know. I mean, how many do people use now?
3 maybe.
I mean, for me, tags would be and oh, what is going on with this?
Discord's being all sorts of funky. I had to reconnect.
There it is. But I was saying, if they're using their languages, like programming languages, then there would be a lot of tags. But if we limited it to like front end, back end, UX, I don't know.
I think we could limit it. So it could be like organizational tag, which would be your title, and then front end or back end, and then the grouping. So like web, mobile, or game.
If anything, we could allow them to like add unlimited tags on their profile page and then like have priority tags to display in the search view, I guess.
Part
I
of me
agree.
is like worried of putting tags on V1 just because it opens another can of worms. Because there's all sorts of rules with them, and
I mean, we're not filtering them right now. Right now, they would just be static. as
Yeah.
yeah,
every-
it's true. Okay, we can explore it. Does it add a lot of development work to do tags versus just like text on a page?
No,
No? Okay.
they have React, or
Okay.
it would just be some CSS to create a little tag.
Okay. I was just worried about that. All right, let's explore tags then.
Okay.
That's all I have. So, Save, are you good?
Yeah, I'm happy. I feel like we explored some things that I had questions on.
Yeah. Everyone else? Anything else?
No, I'm all good.
All right.
Awesome.
I'll probably do I'll most likely do my wireframes in Sketch, and I'll share them that way.
Yeah, that's totally fine too.
Okay.
I think there's a way to export sketch files to Figma or vice versa.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah, that's definitely something to look into too. All right. Good meeting everyone, you guys. I'm gonna we can end it. So
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Alright.
yeah,
Thank you.
thank
See you
you.
later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. And then there were 4.
How's your week going, Will?
It's all right. I don't have a desk or chair right now, so I'm just sitting on the floor.
Did you just move or something? Or...
I
Yeah.
just moved to Charlotte, North
Oh,
Carolina
got
yesterday,
it. Got it.
and I didn't have any furniture.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
gotta end the
gotcha.
recording and upload it to YouTube.